All right, joining me on the Sports Card Shop guest line. Not one guest this week, but what's better than one? But two gentlemen are on the show today. Brian and Jesse from Arena Club. They're going to tell us all about what Arena Club does, what they're doing, what they're bringing to the table. I want to talk some hobby stuff too, but definitely want to highlight what you guys are doing with Arena Club. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for having us, John. Super excited to be here. I'm Brian. That's Jesse. In
How's
case
it
you're
going,
wondering.
John? Thank you.
Yeah, no, yeah, welcome. And I know you guys are busy, so I appreciate you making some time. I guess the first question right out the gate, guys, is Arena Club fairly new? Kind of where how it started, and where you're at now. All that kind of the birth of the company and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, super excited to be on this podcast. By the way, we're big, long time listeners, and
Well, I
so
appreciate it.
yeah. So for us, it's well, for me, it's I've been collecting cards really since I was a kid. Right, my dad took me to my first LA Dodger game, and Steve Garvey was our first baseman at the time, and just fell in love with the sport, the game. I rode my bike to the local card and comic book shop in Fountain Valley, California, and I bought a Steve Garvey rookie card. And I was kind of hooked ever since then. I kept collecting. It was like most of my friends stopped collecting in junior high school, high school. I would just keep going to the card shops and card shows. And then started collecting with my son when he was like 5 years old. I started bringing him to shows and card shops and everything else. And then he's 15 now. And so we kind of took a pause, truthfully, during COVID when prices were getting a little bit out of whack and so forth, and a lot of the shows were closed anyway because of COVID. But yeah, I've always loved the hobby, love it, love it, love it. Very passionate about it, but I've always had issues, truthfully, within the hobby. I always thought that certain things could be done better, right, with a little bit more transparency. And I thought we could make it more fun too, right? So we're kind of like I kind of felt like the hobby was stuck in its old ways, right? Antiquated ways. From the grading companies to the marketplaces that were out there, I thought they could be improved upon using technology. And so brought the idea up to Jesse. Jesse liked it about building kind of what we call an online digital card show, right? So that's what Arena Club thrives to be. It basically is an online card show where I love card shows. Like we love going, buying, selling, trading, the action, the energy. I just felt that was lacking online. All we had were like buy, sell, auction kind of places, but no real communities, no real trading volume and so forth. So that was the initial idea behind Arena Club. I approached Derek Jeter, who's been a longtime friend, and he loved the idea. He collects mostly memorabilia. He has some cards too, of course, but he just loved the concept of using technology to improve the hobby. And so we all kind of, the three of us got together and we launched Arena Club about a year ago. And it's been so much fun. It really has been. Our grading, imagine going to a card show where they have on-site grading along with, a bunch of showcases, that you could buy, sell, and trade. And so that's what Arena Club is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think he said everything. Now
I agree. No. I used to collect. That's so funny. I used to collect as a kid growing up. I stopped when you just kept going, and so I got to high school, and I just kind of like moved on with life until we started this up again. And tragically, I lost my collection in a fire, and so it's the vaulting model really hits close to home, and it's been a lot of fun just to really like get back into it. Yeah, but rebuilding the collection card by card. So send me your Kobe offers.
There you go, Kobe Bryant. Can't go wrong there. Guys, when we talk about vaults, when we talk about grading, those are hot button topics for folks in the industry, in the hobby. When it comes to vaults, people either love them. There's very few in between, right? People either love them or will speak against them. I see the need. I get it as someone that has, some expensive cards. Uh, but I also see the other side to that, right? There's nothing like having your collection on hand where you can look at it anytime you want, put something out on your desk or your home office or your office, or wherever you choose to, to display them. Um, but at the same time, Jesse just mentioned, losing some of his inventory in a fire, right? If had those cards been in the vault, if that was the case, he'd still own them. So, I get it. We've seen, card shops. It just seems like every day where you're reading about a card shop, being broken into or robbed or burglarized. I've even
Right.
read stories where who other people who know that that person has certain things in the house are even breaking into homes to steal inventory. So to just write off a vault, I get the whole love affair with having your cards in hand, and I won't argue that. But me personally, I can see both sides to that coin, so to speak. Anything you want to add when it comes to a vault?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say most collectors are probably like me and you, John. I love holding my cards. But the thing is, I have a lot of cards, and I'm sure you do too. I don't need to keep, 100,000 cards in my house. I just don't, right? I'll keep some of the most valuable because I like sleeping with them, right? Or whatever it is, showing my friends and flexing when they come over and say, "Look at this mantle," right? Whatever it is, but there's a lot of cards that I'm more than happy to put into our vault at Arena Club to display them, to show them to other users, and also to take offers. Just, why not? Let's see what people offer me, and price some for sale if you want to move some. So it's a lot of fun to have the flexibility of putting cards into a vault. You can withdraw them anytime. We charge a very nominal fee to withdraw the cards out of the vault. But while it's in the vault, just rest assured that they're highly, highly secure. Our facility truly is state of the art. It's waterproof, earthquake proof, fireproof, theft proof. Truthfully, I mean, this thing is. I wish we had a picture of it to show you, but it's a real vault, right? And so, highly secure. I sleep really well at night knowing that my cards are in there, and I also sleep well at night knowing that I'm getting a bunch of offers on my cards. I mean, I made a lot of money just this past weekend, selling some cards that are in our marketplace, and it continues to grow and a lot of excitement, and more folks are figuring out how to work with Arena Club, how to open showrooms, and buy, sell, and trade. So there's a lot of action happening here. We're very thankful to be accepted by the community and to grow with y'all, and to offer something new and exciting.
Yeah, I think vault really implies like stash something away and never get it back. But really, what this is, it facilitates you being able to do whatever you want with your cards, right? It's like you don't have to set up a full-on shipping operation, build up an eBay seller rating, or do all these things if you want to move cards, right? Just ship it to us, and you can make it. You can move them super easily, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the. Remember, I said at the beginning of the show that I had a lot of issues with what was out there, and one of the issues I had with existing marketplaces that were out there was that sometimes I would get a fake card, right? Sometimes I would get a trim card. The bait and switch is pretty prevalent on raw cards online, right? And then the worst is like when they don't ship it, lost in the mail, non-payment, whatever the reasons might be. We solved all of that at Arena Club by using technology. And so every card in the marketplace and people's showrooms are authenticated by either PSA, Beckett, or SGC slabs, right? Or if you send us a raw card, we will grade it because we want to make sure that everything is authenticated, everything is slabbed, right, in our marketplace. That way you feel secure that that's the card you're actually getting because we put every card on blockchain, we record it on Polygon, and that is the exact card that is now belong to you. And you can call it from the vault anytime.
Yeah, you mentioned some problems, right? The old, you buy a card, let's say on eBay, and I don't want to just pick on eBay, but any kind of online platform, and let's say it's like you said, a raw card. There's no guarantee you're going to get that exact card that's photographed. They can.
Right.
I've had it happen. So
Yeah.
you get a different condition one, and then
Mhm.
that's an uphill battle to try to open a case and resolve that. Sometimes it may not even go in your favor when it should. You have someone sort of deciding that maybe not part of the hobby. It doesn't get some of the intricacies of the hobby, and so there's that issues among some of the others. You mentioned. I got just backtracking a little bit, guys. You mentioned Derek Jeter being one of the partners. How involved? I know he was at the national. He was at your booth. I know a few people. I didn't get to see him, but someone said he was on the floor in a golf cart, kind of
Yeah.
waving to people, and then at the booth. But obviously, most people know Derek Jeter's a huge name, a huge icon of probably even outside of baseball, just a sports icon. But obviously, a Yankee, a Hall of Famer, a World Series champion. How involved? I'm sure he's a busy guy. How involved? Well, now he's not GMing right at the moment, so maybe he has a little bit more time. But how involved? Is how hands on? I guess maybe is the question
Well,
I'm asking.
he's very involved, especially with strategic decisions, the growth of the business, helping us promote, market, and so forth. So he is very involved. We speak weekly. Great guy. One of the most humble folks you'll ever meet. Like the kind of guy that you want to just hang out with, grab a beer, grab some pizza. He's truly an amazing partner. We love working with him, and he's got a lot of ideas, man. Got a lot of ideas, and he's sharp, super sharp. And so, he's truly a business partner. It's kind of interesting because I partnered with kind of influencers or celebrity, for lack of a better word, in the past. And honestly, it's like they're just like us. They really are, John. It's like they're people, and they're your partner. And I actually, when we meet with Derek, I don't even consider him Derek Jeter the All Star, right? I don't really think of it that way. I just think of Derek Jeter, my partner, and I'm sure Jesse.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's just anything we need from him, he's willing to help. Pick up the phone, call anyone, give us feedback on the product. Just really anything we ask, he makes himself available as well. So no, we love working with Derek. He makes it really easy. So we love when he leans in as often as he does.
Now you mentioned obviously from his playing career, like you said, he's probably has traded with fellow people in baseball, equipment and different things like that. You said he has some cards. Has he gotten more into cards with being involved with the Arena Club? And have you been a bad influence or a good one?
I would call
Has he expanded his card portfolio? Maybe
Brian traded a fake card he accidentally got for one of his World Series rings. So
he's been great, and I would say we've been a good influence on him, getting him back into the hobby. He really does enjoy cards. He loves collecting players that he is looking forward to in terms of their growth and prospects. I know that he's collecting Reggie Crawford right now on the Giants. I know he's collecting some other players like that. I think he's got some good Ethan Salas cards. So yeah, he's definitely into it, and he's got an amazing showroom in the Arena Club right now. He'll put some of his cards in there, and he's actually super excited whenever he sells a card.
I think he's doing all right. Even if card sales are down, he's probably doing all right. But you mentioned something I wanted to touch on. And checking the site out, and others can do this as well. You can see, different people's showrooms, as you say, of their inventory and what's available. And it's kind of cool to obviously do that, right? If you know someone, whether it be someone in the hobby, Derek Jeter, you guys, whoever it might be, just to kind of see, the eclecticness of what what you collect, what you've acquired, what's available. Is that something like right from Jump Street? You knew that's kind of an approach you were going to take, or is that something as you launched the company you said let's think about doing it this way?
Yeah, I mean the showroom has always been a super important element of our site, right? When people send us cards, they're not just gonna be listed in a marketplace, right? It's really your display, your profile, how you merchandise it tells you a lot about who each individual is, right? So the showroom has always been a very, very core piece. I think that was actually like the first thing that you drew, like the back of a napkin, like these aisles of cards and everything. So it's always been part of the vision.
Yeah. So we always felt like everyone should have a showcase. That's basically what it came down to.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone should feel like they're part of the show. They're displaying their cards. They're waiting for folks to come by and come talk to them, make deals. That's really what Arena Club is, and if people are really catching on.
Now I got to ask this. Not something I would do, but if someone said, "Hey, I don't have a problem, putting my inventory on there, making it available, but I don't really want to attach my name to it for whatever reason they may have personally," is that allowed? Can someone, say, "Hey, like
Yeah.
you'll know who I am," like if there was an issue or that sort of thing, but I really just don't want it out there publicly.
Yeah, everyone has a username, and
you can create your own username.
Yeah.
And open up your own
Yeah.
showcase. Truth be told, we have like a 3-time NBA All-Star who opened a showroom at Arena Club, and I only know this because he told us, but it's under a pseudonym, and he's got an amazing showroom. So
everyone's probably trying to figure out who it is right now. Googling 3-time NBA All-Star and seeing the current, probably some of the more current names. But I kind of like that. I'm all for transparency, but someone like, hey, I just don't want necessarily my name being out there. I can understand again both sides to that coin. You're competing in a space, guys. I'm not breaking news to you right here with where some things have been established for a while. And you make a great point too, Brian. That's there's issues there, and you want to sort of fix those or do it differently to avoid those same pratfalls. But some of these companies have been around a while. Some of these selling platforms.
right.
Talk about the difficulty of sort of entering and no pun intended, entering in that arena and competing. Even in good terms, competing with some of those long established companies. How daunting can that be?
Truly, it could be very daunting, right? We're competing against some very large established players with strong distribution, right? But what we try to do is we continuously try to innovate at Arena Club and just make things better. And for us, we really want to build a strong brand with a strong foundation over time. And we know it's going to take time, right? Because look, some of these grading companies have been around for 30 plus years, right? Some of these online platforms, marketplaces have been around for, almost 25 plus years, right? And so when you look at that, yeah, we're newcomers and it takes time to build a brand. It takes a few things to build a brand, right? It takes time, it takes some capital, but it also takes an extreme consistency in the delivery of your promise. And if you continuously do that over time, if you continuously bring the customer happiness, right, to satisfaction over a long period of time, you win. Right? McDonald's is McDonald's because a Big Mac tastes like a Big Mac anywhere you go in the world. It's extreme consistency in their promise. Okay, and so what we're trying to do here is win the long game. We're not in this for the flash. We're not in this for like, hey, let's build it and sell it tomorrow. I truly am building this for the hobby. I want this to exist because it's better.
Yeah. Nothing to add to that. Really,
Okay,
it's like
all right. Well,
because Brian, he's been a collector his whole life, and this is truly coming from a place of real passion, right? To like fix things that he's personally experienced. So if he's experienced certain issues, I'm sure there's plenty of other collectors who have, and we really just believe in our vision in delivering that consistency over and over again, right? And we're confident that we're going to build a big brand.
Yeah, and I'll follow up too, Brian, with this too, Jesse. We talk about whether someone wants to come the big three or the big four, right? That have been around a little bit. You have your PSA; they have their awards. So people, all you gotta do is go on the message board and you can see what those are. SGC, which I'm fond of, and the sponsor of this show, full disclosure, have always sort of had the vintage. They're great at vintage, modern, but I think they're trying to change that narrative. Beckett has probably lost out of all the big ones, if you will, the most foothold, have fell back a little bit, the most for I done a whole show on that, but could do, I'm not going to put you guys in the, but they've kind of been their own worst enemy at different points.
Yeah.
And others. You got CGC. They're not new, but they were known more for kind of the comics, and now getting into the card side. And you have about 150 other ones with some crazy names and maybe less viable, if you will, or less active. But there's no shortage of grading card companies, some better than others. What was, when you launched Arena Club, like how are you going to say, hey, we're going to do this better? Sort of what your whatever you want to call them, rules or mantras for how you want to make the grading space better and why you can do it better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, we're fans of all those companies, by the way. I actually really like PSA. I really like SGC, CGC, Beckett. And I honestly wish all of them succeed because it really helps our marketplace as well, right? Because we allow for PSA, Beckett, SGC slabs to be submitted to the showrooms. With that said,
I don't mean to cut you off too, Brian, but I want to point that out. That's a kudos to you guys too, because you're grading stuff yourself, but you're not excluding these other companies either. And I think that says a lot about what you're building, right? You could easily have said, listen, you want to put your Arena Club cards on here, that's it. But that's what we recognize. But you haven't taken that stance. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to definitely let people know that's the case. But go ahead. My apologies there.
Oh no, absolutely. So I mean, we love those companies. I think, look, I grew up with these companies and collecting those slabs, and nothing but really respect for them for what they've built. But I don't think anyone's taken down any of them anytime soon, right? Especially not Arena Club in our grading. It's like we really didn't start this to be a grading company. We started this to be an online card show with the safety of knowing every card is authenticated, right? And so if you sent us a raw card, we would authenticate and we would grade it before putting it in your showroom. But with that, I always thought it could just be done a little bit better. So you can love and respect a company, but you can still improve upon the offering. And so for me, it was really about transparency, right? Understanding why a card scored a certain way. It was in the back of my head. Like I would send in cards to certain grading companies. I sent them to all of them, truthfully. And I would get a card back and it would have a score. And I was like, gosh, I thought that was going to get a 10 and it got an 8. Or gosh, I thought that was going to get an 8 and it got a 9, right? It goes both ways. It's like, I just didn't know what I was going to get. And I was always just like, gosh, I really wish they would just give me a grading report and actually show me what imperfections they see in this card so that I know why it scored a certain way. And so we use computer vision here and machine learning, AI grading, mixed with humans, right, to do final kind of reviews and that process. So we mix basically computers and humans together to provide very fully transparent grading reports on every card submitted, every raw card submitted. And so that's just something I've always wanted to do. And I love it, right? I love knowing why, a card scored a certain way.
Yeah. I mean, it's also just to make it so much easier right? It's why I go through the hassle of sending it to multiple places, get it back. It makes it so much easier if we just take it in, grade it, and give buyers on our marketplace all the information they need to make a decision. Really, our grading is supposed to, our card detail page for the arena slabs is supposed to give you all the information that you need to make a decision on whether you want to buy your card. It's supposed to really just replace you being able to pick up a raw card at a card show and kind of grade it yourself. It's like we're making that easier for you because we're doing it, right?
Exactly.
So that's why we built the grading, right? And we love our grading too, and that's really just to enable like that type of like ease of purchase when you're buying something and analyzing a card,
especially online, because like I said, at card shows, which I go to a lot of, if I find a raw card, I'm just like you, John. I'm sure it's like I pick it up, I'm looking at it, and I'm examining it, and I'm wondering how it will score. Right? I look at the corners, the edges, the center, all of it. You can't do that online, right? And that was the issue that I had with online raw cards. I'm like, I don't think we should have raw cards in there because you don't know what you're getting, right? And so that's why we authenticated raw cards and gave full transparent grading reports so that it's like holding the card in person because you know exactly what's wrong with it.
Yeah, I like that value to the service, right? You know, you rather than just give a numerical grade, you're given the explanation too, right?
Right.
You know, when you're in school and you take a test and you get your 85 or 90, you know what questions you missed to get that 85 and 90. You know, if you got 100, I didn't miss anything. But if you get a 90 and it's a 10 question, you know, you missed one. Which one was it? I'd like to know, you know.
Yeah.
And I
really
like that.
John. Yeah, that's a great analogy, John. I mean, imagine taking a test, like not knowing why you scored a certain way.
Yeah. What I miss, I studied. If you did, like, I want to know what I missed, and that way, if I take a similar test, or I just won't miss that same question twice, right? Obviously, cards are different than a test, but you still want to know what was it that caused not to be 100, right? In this case, not to be a 10. Why did I get a 9 or a 9.5 or depending on what, you know, what grading scale it falls under. You know, I'm a fan of subgrades. Very few people do that anymore. So the fact that you're sort of giving that synopsis, you know, kudos to you guys. I think every company should have to do it. I mean, that's easy for me to say and play armchair, you know, grading card guy. But you know, I always like to know. And sometimes, in some cases, you do. Sometimes you send the card and you're like, especially on the vintage side, like I know this is going to get, you know, a 6 or 7. Here's probably why. And we all do that too, guys. Right? When we send a card for grading, in our own minds, we've kind of given it a grade we think it's going to come back or graded with, and then we kind of like we test our own skill, like how did we do, or how accurate was I or wasn't I. I've had Nat Turner on the show, Peter Steinberg on. They talk about the difficulty in training graders and to get up to speed. Now with and they're established companies, obviously, being new. Again, the degree of difficulty, I don't want to speak for you. I'll let you answer the question. You're here. But I would imagine that's probably even more difficult starting from, you know, ground zero, so to speak, and building that. Kind of speak to that if you could.
Yeah, it's not easy. it's not easy, right? We have an extremely rigorous training program. It takes people a long time to really get ramped up how we do it, right? Because we really break it down with each of the subgrades, right? How we do it, just how we reference certain cards that we grade the corners. You know, this is this much of a deduction. Our graders see it like 1,000 times. It gets hammered into their heads, and then they eventually learn it. And you know, we've built all the controls as well. So you know, day one, you're not just grading. It's like people reviewing your work. And then as you get better and better, it's obviously you're closer to the final decision. But yeah, it's not it's not easy. Matt and Peter are right.
This was Arena Club was a hard company to get off the ground. I'll just put it that way. There was a lot of learnings, a lot of education involved, some missteps early on. It's growing pains, right? And so for us, it's like the great thing is we're still a small team. We're pretty nimble. We learn very fast, and we learn from our mistakes, and we try to improve. And that's the battle every day. You try to become better every day. And so that's kind of like what we take to heart. And I think today, we have a pretty strong grading product and service compared to what's out there. And what I'm truly hoping for, John, is that once the collector understands how cool it is to get a grading report and to see the exact imperfections of a card, they will demand that from the other big four. That's what I'm truly hoping for, so that they will embrace technology and embrace the future, if you will, and especially with transparency, what people actually want.
I like that. I mean, I think every grader, regardless of name, PSA to, Jimmy's Basement Graders should give a why did this not, what was the issue with the car where it caused it to score. I didn't want to say issue because it could be a great 9, right? But what was it that led to the grade? It got, if you guys, like you just mentioned, Brian, if you guys doing that kind of forces someone else's hand in a positive way, that's a good thing. I think they should be doing that already, but maybe it takes sort of that, hey, more grading companies are starting to do this, and we're now in sort of the minority not doing it, and it's not necessarily a good look. That's how change kind of can occur. So I appreciate you saying that. You ask 1,000 people in the hobby, 990 of them will tell you they could grade a card tomorrow and work for you.
Yeah.
But I think we all know, right, that it's not as simple as that. There's a lot that goes into it, especially some of these people doing unscrupulous things and making fake cards. Some of them are very difficult to tell. I've been fooled, not where I've necessarily bought a card, but I thought it was real, and it eventually turned out to be not. And it's they're getting better. These people that do these things are honing their illegal skills, but they're skills in their own right, not for the side of good, but they're kind of stepping up their game. So it's hard. Everyone thinks I can just show up to the building, go in the back room, and let's start giving these things numerical grades. It's not as cut and dry as that. It may be in their mind, but those of us that have done this a while or been in the hobby and seen the things we've seen, and it's not as simple. And I think you mentioned it too, Jesse, that you just don't grade right away. You've got to learn, sort of apprentice, and then eventually get in that pilot seat. You might have to be a co-pilot for some time until you're ready, sort of to use another analogy, fly the plane. But and I think that's important. I think people should like to hear that. Because do you want someone that doesn't necessarily know the landscape? You're paying for a service. You want the best, service you can get for the best value, right? So it's good to hear you guys, talk about that. As difficult as it can be, you don't have to mention numbers. With starting kind of with zero graders, were you able to get any that had experience in the industry? If you don't want to mention what companies are, but were you able to get folks that done it before somewhere else and have taken their skill set to Arena Club?
Absolutely. I mean, where else would we start?
Yeah.
Yeah, we we've been pretty good at recruiting the team that we have. We're super excited about the team we have. Like I said, we're a small team, but we're very cohesive, and we're really gelling right now. Creating some really fun products and functions for within Arena Club, like slab packs that we just launched a couple weeks ago. That was kind of a fun project for us, and we'll continue doing that. The consumer seems to really enjoy that, and so we'll add some more functions as we go, including even like possible meet and greets via video with athletes and so forth, just like you would meet an athlete at a card show and so forth. There's a lot of things that we're drumming up to make this even more exciting in the future.
You mentioned that was one thing on my list. Repacks, in your case, slab packs is another hot button like topic. Some people are just very adamant against it. I'm actually in the process of writing an article for publication about repacks. I'm not one of those people that say do away with them. I'm just saying do your research. There's people who sell them that do unscrupulous things or just getting rid of junk for the sake of making a quick buck. But there's people who do a great job with them too. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, stealing a line from someone else, but that'll appear in the piece I'm writing, right? We can't just paint everyone with the same brush and say everyone does it the same exact way and it's all bad, right? Kind of speak, I know that's a new project, a new line for you guys. Kind of, I'm sure you've heard all the repack buzz, some of the bads, some of the venom or vitriol towards repacks. Just kind of your take in doing that, and trying to avoid, some of that, some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, go for it. You can take it.
So for us, like I said, I love the hobby, and there's a lot of things that I just wanted to fix, right, and make better and more transparent. And so both Jesse and I, we go to card shows, and we saw a lot of these repack products. And really, to your point, not all of them, but a lot of them were unscrupulous. It's like, you don't know what's in the packs. They don't tell you. There's no checklist. There's no transparency. They'll tell you, hey, there's a Shohei Ohtani rookie card in one of these packs. Well, which Shohei Ohtani rookie card is it, right? And are you sure you even put it in there? And how do I know you didn't sell it to your brother-in-law, right? So all this stuff was always popping into our heads, like, gosh, we could do this so much better with full transparency and actually show people all the possible cards that they might get in their pack. And then basically, and with the percentages of hits, right? Like, what are your odds of actually getting one of these? And basically, once you purchase a slab pack at Arena Club, it just basically shows up into your showroom where you do your reveal and disappears from all the cards over here and gets replenished with equal valued cards. And so it's an ongoing replenishment program, but the cards are disappearing into people's showrooms as they purchase a slab pack. So there's no other more transparent product. I think that we're bringing, truthfully, I should hope, unmatched value, right? We're putting a lot of value into these packs because we're fine taking a very slim margin, because that's what we're doing. To be fully transparent with you, we're taking a slim margin on it because we want the hobby to have fun, right? Let's rip some stuff up and let's see what you get, right? We're putting some really fun, cards in there. We're putting high value cards, but we're also putting some really fun redemption cards in there. So, for example, like we got like Ronald Acuna signed bats that you could redeem the card for, or like a Derek Jeter signed baseball. All this kind of stuff that we're doing to make the hobby fun again.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the game. It's just such an exciting product that our customers just absolutely love, right? It's like that chase, that feeling, the anxiousness of like before you open a pack, like being able to dream of getting the chase card or the grail card and people hitting them, actually hitting them. It's just like, that is the fun that our users and collectors just really live for. right? And I think it's just so critical to like the entire ecosystem that we're building. So we're just super happy to have it, and working our butts off to keep building on it and keep it as live as often as possible.
Couple things I'll add there, like you said, guys, being transparent. Hey, these are what's in here. Here's your odds of getting them, right? Some of your we can't put $1,000 card in every pack. It's just not feasible, but they're
Yeah.
in there, right? You have a shot at it. Here are your odds. Even if you don't necessarily hit that card, there's plenty of other stuff that you can hit that will make you happy too. And just like Jesse said, I think one of the most fun things you can do in the hobby, right, is rip a repack open and not knowing or anticipating what you possibly could get. And that adrenaline rush, right? It's probably the biggest adrenaline rush in the hobby. Even getting your cards back from grading, if you don't know already
Mhm.
what they've graded out at, that's
Yeah.
an adrenaline rush, but not even the same as even opening the pack. And
Right.
so there's something to be said about that and doing it above board in the right way. And I'm while I may not participate in it, I'm not against them, right? As long as I always tell people that ask me, John, and I've had people get mad at me that I don't like swear against repacks, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, because there are people that are doing a great job with them, but you need to do your research and figure out who those folks are and who those folks aren't.
Yeah.
And it's probably easier to find out the ones who aren't, and sort of by process of elimination, figure out the ones who are doing a decent job or a great job or a better job with a product such as that. But to throw a complete line out because of what 60% of people do it the wrong way, why should the 40%? And I'm just making up percentages, and but why throw the 40% people doing it the right way and a great job with it? Why should they suffer because of the other 60%? The 60% should take it on the chin, not the complete 100. And that's been my stance. I've had people not like that answer, but that's my honest answer, right? I'm not going to make up because someone says that I don't believe in, because someone will like me more. I haven't done that in 51 years. I'm not going to start now. So I think that product has a place in the hobby for those that want to partake in it. And it sounds like you're doing it with transparency and above board, and that's great to hear. When maybe other folks don't do it along those lines. So that's a positive thing, not a negative thing. Coming down the home stretch, guys, you're like you said, you're a year into the launch of Arena Club. Kind of assess, where you are. Are you kind of on track where you want to be? Has it been better than you expected? That sort of thing. Just kind of an assessment, sort of a year in.
I would say we're definitely doing better than what I thought. Right. We had super high hopes when we started the company, and we remain very hopeful that this is going to be a very successful business over the long term. But I feel really, really good with where we're at. Really thankful, truthfully, to the community that's part of Arena Club, the earliest kind of collectors who open showrooms with us to display their cards and put trust in us. We owe you everything, truthfully, and you know who you are, and we're just thankful and blessed to call this our job, really, to be in this hobby and to actually try to build a business in this. It's awesome. It really is. It's like I sometimes just like wonder, like, how did this become my life, that it doesn't even feel like work. It really does. It's just so much fun, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, I echo that. I'm really happy with where we're at, and just having this super exciting product that our customers just love, and just we have such big plans to continue to grow it, expand it, add more fun features, add a lot of awesome cards to our marketplace. We're just both very, very, very excited about this. And yeah, working in cards all day, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's kind of a crazy world from time to time, but like it's definitely fun to navigate. That's for sure. I've got a lot of characters.
Yeah, like if you're not having fun, like the hobby should be fun, right? That's why we do it. I always tell people. Sometimes I'll get an email, guys. Someone say, "Hey, I'm kind of hit a wall, or I'm a little burnt out, or I'm not having." Well, do a different angle. There's more than multiple ways to hobby. Try a different way. Try a way. Maybe you thought about doing something different. You never did it yet. Try that before you kind of exit stage left. Right. The hobbies should be an outlet to sort of escape some of the regular mundanes of life and have fun and as an aside to that. So it's nice hearing you say that, guys. That while it's a business and a job, it's also fun, right? That's one of the best things you can say. When you're working, that it's you enjoy what you're doing, you have a passion for it. Probably, if there's other people who like to say that, maybe and can't, but it's good on you, and it means I think you're doing it the right way, and that you're in that place. I always give the guest guys kind of the final word. Give out all your socials, websites, where people can see everything you guys offer and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're primarily on Instagram at Arena Club, and we just launched a Discord actually, it's been going kind of crazy, which has been a lot of fun just to see all of our customers just kind of talking all the time, new people joining, explaining how we work. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is like my number one sales team.
And come to arenaclub.com, check us out. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun just to see what's in the marketplaces and people's showrooms. Come check out Derek Jeter's showroom, Steve Nash's showroom, a bunch of other kind of great players that have joined our platform. It's pretty awesome.
Just don't send Brian a lowball offer. It makes him angry. Then I have to deal with him all day. So it's just like try to pay like 20% below whatever he has listed, and he'll accept.
You wouldn't even know some of the somebody offered me. Literally, I have this signed Shohei Ohtani card and rookie card, and it's like $1,000 card. Some guy offered me like 85 cards of this for that one card. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Brian, I have a confession.
Was that you?
Every day, Brian, it's me. We're doing a account.
That's funny. Well, guys, continued success. I look forward to meeting you, whether it be at the National or even before
Awesome.
as well. We'll have you back too. I don't like to do just one appearance only, as long as you come back. So again, continued success.
Thank you so much for having us,
Thank you, John.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, likewise. Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Bye.